Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
Maybe this was how it was always going to end. Ever since Zaza Pachulia stepped underneath Kawhi Leonard in the 2017 Western Conference Finals, Spurs fans have been living a nightmare. The player they thought would inherit Tim Duncan's kingdom, and lead San Antonio for the next decade, was seriously injured. Then he was disgruntled with the way the team handled that injury. Then he came back, but for only 9 games of the 2017-18 season. Then things got really bad, a trade request, a fog of rumors and whispers and blame, and finally, overnight, he was gone. One of the stranger NBA stories in recent memory, the most stable franchise and most selfless star engaged in a spectacular and public feud, came to a strange, anticlimactic conclusion. I woke up Wednesday to a text from Bill Simmons bat signaling me for a Kawhi Leonard emergency podcast. The Spurs had just dealt their disgruntled superstar, along with Danny Green, to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan, Jacob Poeltl, and a top 20 protected 2019 first-round pick. I thought I was dreaming. I would imagine Spurs fans thought it was a nightmare. But it's real, another complicated NBA breakup with stars trading places. Players of Leonard's and DeRozan's magnitude are rarely moved for one another, so there are lots of ramifications and complications attached. But while fans are sorting through their emotions and franchises are redoing their marketing materials, a reality is starting to take shape. This trade may hurt, but it makes sense for both teams. San Antonio received what seems like a light haul for Leonard, but it was in a no-win situation. Leonard's value was depreciated. He played only 9 games last season because of a quadriceps issue that first surfaced in 2012. And even now, there's an air of mystery surrounding the severity of that injury and whether it's still causing him discomfort. There is no guarantee that he'll return to his MVP caliber form. With a lack of clarity regarding Leonard's true value, the Celtics and Sixers weren't willing to go all in, the Lakers weren't biting, and any other team with reported interest, Clippers, Suns, Blazers, Nuggets, didn't offer enough to outbid the Raptors. Multiple league executives say the Spurs were prioritizing scoring in all prospective trade packages for Leonard, not picks or unproven players. That's exactly what the Spurs got: a 2-time All-NBA player in DeRozan, a solid, young two-way big in Poeltl, and a pick. It's not too shabby. The Spurs won 47 games last season almost in spite of the Leonard situation. LaMarcus Aldridge carried the load on his way to a year that turned him MVP votes. This isn't the first time the Greg Popovich R.C. Buford Brain Trust has resisted public demands to start from scratch. There were calls for drastic measures back in 2011, when the underdog Grizzlies beat San Antonio in the first round of the playoffs. That was the franchise's second successive postseason disappointment, following the 2010 playoffs, when the Spurs got swept by the Suns in the second round. It seemed like the Tim Duncan window was closing, but the Spurs chose to remodel rather than rebuild. They dealt George Hill for Leonard, who was supposed to be their new Bruce Bowen but then became a star. That changed everything. The team eventually won a 5th championship in 2014, and Leonard was the finals MVP. San Antonio would be in a better position with a healthy, invested Leonard. But this deal isn't the end of the world for the league's winningest franchise this century. DeRozan and Poeltl will allow the Spurs to sustain their winning ways while bringing along younger talent like second-team all-defense guard DeJounte Murray, point guard Derek White, and rookie wing Lonnie Walker IV, an explosive athlete with dynamic scoring upside. DeRozan is rightfully knocked for his shaky defense and antiquated mid-range game in a league where threes rule the day. But despite his flaws, he's a proven second- or third-tier star who has mostly stayed healthy over his career. He has been named to back-to-back All-NBA teams and has gotten better each season. In 2017-18, DeRozan developed his playmaking after working all last summer with trainer Chris Farr to improve his passing and shooting. DeRozan averaged 2.8 more potential assists per 40 minutes this season since he looked for teammates instead of jacking up contested jumpers, which helped propel Toronto to its best regular season in franchise history. Unfortunately for the Raptors, DeRozan's three-point shot fell apart mid-season. He shot